yeah, this movie that I saw years and years ago, it was not a very good movie. It was called Death Becomes Her. And it had, I think Meryl Streep, was it also Goldie Hawn? I can't remember who the other person was. I think it might have been. No, not a particularly good movie, unfortunately. But I think about this one scene from it. I think it's like partway through the movie. I can't remember if it's partway through the movie, the beginning of the movie. And there's like these two women were they friends? Oh look at that. MD119. Why don't you go fuck yourself in your Range Rover? You know, and my life is so miserable. And the only reason that anyone was able to do to me what's happened to me is that I'm poor. That's the only reason. As much as this actually happened to me, that is the only reason that these things have happened to me. Anyway, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, here's this. Yeah, so something happens. I think there's some kind of like serious rupture in their relationship, right? And one of them is left just like really like hurt and like bitter. And there's this scene where the one who got hurt is like sitting in group therapy, and it's kind of like, I think maybe it's like the beginning of the session or whatever it is, and she's asked like what she wants to talk about, and she says I want to talk about, and then she says the name of the woman who was her friend, I think, who had hurt her, and like all the other women start screaming because they can't take listening to it anymore. They're like, no, we can't stand here, and they just all start screaming and screaming, like they're just going totally insane because they cannot listen to this woman talk anymore about how her friend betrayed her and all this stuff. And I mean, I would not say that Leonardo DiCaprio and I were ever friends, but sometimes I feel. Sometimes I go through not very many emotions about him, I have to say. They sort of range from like sadness about what he turned into to like just general confusion about how he could have turned into what he turned into, and how someone who is essentially intelligent can end up to be the way he is. But I guess a number of them are like that, right? And then also just like total hatred, just this loathing, you know, which usually I tend to feel when I've really already heard as many coughs as I can stand here in one morning, you know, or one afternoon, or 1 hour, and then I just start to think about how much I hate him, right? And then kind of like, again, sort of like this pity in terms of like the fact that he just didn't know, you know, just this fact that he just had no idea that all the things he really believes in are stupid, right? Because he just like kind of raised by the entertainment industry, just doesn't know any better, right? There's this movie Hitch that I saw it. I saw it in the hospital, right? Because somebody had some movies we could like watch them in the hospital, and I actually ended up seeing it twice because it was like another group of patients, like sort of just like kind of ended up in the hospital like while I was there. You know, they show up like one at a time, or like someone gets discharged and then somebody else shows up, and then it's like, you know, or maybe it's a few of them at once kind of thing. And there's this scene in the movie where like it's Will Smith movie. There's a scene in the movie where it's from a movie from like a few years ago, where he's at like something with this girl. He does end up with at the end, but it's like she invites him to like some fish market thing, something that has having to do like that's like has something to do with fish, like, and in the middle of that scene, he just like has this like, he starts coughing and has this like horrible like allergic reaction, like he's like doing it totally was created before the conglomerate happened. I don't know, it's like 2006 or 2008 or something like that. But it shows him like just having this horrible coughing fit and this like allergic reaction to like fish, I think, right, in this place. And I was like, man, you know, and now having put it together with kind of other things, I was never really like someone who watched like tons of movies. But actually now, you know, thinking about it, like this particular joke, it seems like it's just been part of the movie industry for a really long time. You know, it's just like incredibly important to all the men who run that place, which is just so stupid. It's so stupid. And just like the rest of much, I will tell you, much of the rest of the civilized world, people who actually have to get work done during the day, you know, and have learned to depend on women to be their employees, their colleagues, their bosses, their teachers, their friends, their their clients, you know. I mean, it's just, they know, just most of them, I think, no, you can't get through a work day like that, you know. But the entertainment industry doesn't know that, because they either fired or destroyed the lives of all the women who weren't willing to act like that, you know. I mean, there's just, unless they were women who were so privileged to begin with that they were kind of treated like they were made of glass, right? So, you know, I don't think I need to name names about that, but it's just sad, you know. It is a number of things. Sad for the world being, I think, one of the first things that it is.